Wow.
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 Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
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 Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Weird Disney Cars Diecast Errors and Inconsistencies, the series where I talk about Weird Disney Cars Diecast Errors and Inconsistencies, but today I'm not alone because I'm being joined by the one and only Crazy Cars Canada, so a huge thank you to him for joining me for today's episode. As per usual, I'll be talking about 5 errors and inconsistencies, and he will be discussing the other 5. Without further ado, take it away, Crazy Cars Canada.
Hey everyone, it's Crazy Cars Canada here, and I do just want to thank Ty so much for letting me help him out with this big collaboration. It is an honor to be doing a video with somebody that I did look up to when I was starting my YouTube channel. But yeah, I just want to thank Ty once again, and let's get on to the first inconsistency.
The first error I will be talking about is Chick Hicks Pity Bruiser Prokowski, his 2-pack release of 2022, having the Lightyear logo on his tires. This is actually a really big error because this is his first ever release with the logos. And all of his other previous releases and in the movie all have no Lightyear logo. So why would Mattel do this? I don't know. Maybe it's because somebody else is working on the cars there. I have no idea. But I really do think that it's not that hard to look back on his old releases to see what you did right and just copy that. But no, they had to pull the old Mattel and mess up something on a car. So, great job, Mattel.
Merchandise for the Cars Disney Plus series, Cars on the Road, has started coming out. It actually started being revealed right after Crazy Cars Canada sent me his audio for this episode. Now I'm going back and changing some of my segments to cover some of the on-the-road errors and inconsistencies I've already seen. That's right, we already have some on-the-road errors and inconsistencies. Because, of course we do. The show isn't even out yet. But let's start off with one where I'm actually quite proud of Mattel. When I first saw that the On the Road Lightning McQueen diecast was being called Road Trip Lightning McQueen, I got concerned, because of course we already had a Road Trip Lightning McQueen back in 2016. But then I remembered, no we didn't. Mattel called that diecast Road Trip Cruisin' Lightning McQueen, since it was based off of Cruisin' Lightning McQueen. And then when I went to research for this video, I remembered the fact that Mattel actually didn't call them Road Trip Cruisin' Lightning McQueen or Road Trip Mater or whatever on the name tags. And thus, the fact that this Lightning is called Road Trip Lightning McQueen and that the Mater for On the Road is called Road Trip Mater isn't actually them reusing a name from the old Road Trip series. Good job, Mattel. You know what you didn't do a good job with? Road Trip Mater is just regular Mater. He's no different. He's literally just the normal Mater single. We already had the normal Mater single released earlier this year. He's the exact same, just on a new card, and now you're calling him Road Trip Mater? Are you trying to trick people into thinking he's a new Mater? Because he's not. He's literally not. It is normal Mater. The least you could have done was given him a new expression, or you know what? How about this? Just call him Mater. There's nothing special about him. There's nothing road trip about him. Mater in this series is using the same look he's always had. So why are you labeling him differently? Mater's the same. The diecast is the same. Just call him Mater. The On the Road logo was already on the box. We understand that it's Road Trip Mater, okay? But, it's just normal Mater, guys. Come on.
The Bomb Mater's original release is actually very wrong. Even if you don't notice it, I'm sure you'll notice it when I point it out. If you do remember, after Mater is yelled at by McQueen and kind of kicked off of the race team in Cars 2, then he does actually wash off his number 95 Lightning Bolt logo, and it still does appear on the diecast that is released. Then later when Mater has the bomb on him in Great Britain, the bomb actually is appeared to be green instead of gray. But it's classic Mattel, and they're known for their mess-ups, so it's actually gray, and the diecast still has the number 95. Very strange, not sure why they wouldn't do any more research on it. It's literally a main scene in the movie when Mater's about to blow up, and it's looking at the bomb counting down. It's clearly green and not gray. And yes, I get the 95's a little harder to notice, but come on, you're supposed to be the main provider of these cars. You should at least know what you're doing.
Last year, I discussed a time where Mattel covered up a typo with Karsten Ace Dillon's name on the back of the NASCAR diecasts by putting a sticker over it with the correct spelling. Well, a very similar thing has happened with the new Cars on the Road color changers. Dats Jammin and Revo Koss accidentally had their code names, their original listing code names, of Special Construction Salt Flats and Classic Rod Salt Flats printed on their card backs instead of their actual names. And Mattel came in and slapped stickers on them with their actual character names before they came to shelves. This was really funny to discover and really interesting to see when I found it out while reviewing these cars. I actually first saw that it was a sticker before I reviewed the cars, and I assumed that the inaccurate name was down there, and I was right. Yeah, so if you get the color changer Dats and Revo, check them out. Maybe try to peel that sticker off. Or not. They don't really come off very cleanly. But still, pretty funny that their original names were accidentally written there and then covered up with stickers. Now, if only they could have covered up Ramon Green with a sticker.
When you look back at the neon racers, a few things pop in your mind first. Wow, love those metallic paint jobs. Wow, love those neon colors. Yes, while that is really nice, they did miss out on so many racers, like Francesco Bernoulli, Carlo Velosa, Jeff Gorvet, and Rip Klenczynski, which I find really surprising how they don't even finish the line for not many racers. It's not like there's as many racers as there are in Cars 3 with the next gens or the Cars 1 old cars, right? I find it kind of crazy and lazy that they don't do it, especially it would be really cool to see these other cars released, as this is one of the best lines, in my opinion, in Cars history. Even though I don't own any of these cars, looking at them are sure quite a sight to see.
Last episode, I talked about Ramon Green, and clearly I'm still not over it, considering now this is the second time I've brought up Ramon Green in this video. I'm very sorry, I'm still not over that, clearly. But that's beyond the point. Let's stop talking about Ramon Green and instead talk about Green Ramon. Did you know that Green Ramon's diecast has actually never been labeled as Green Ramon? He's always been called just Ramon. Now, Green Ramon was the second Ramon diecast ever made and one of the first ever character variants. The purple Ramon was just called Ramon, and then later on that year they released Green Ramon and also just called him Ramon. Ever since then, every single one of his releases from 2006 all the way through to 2021 just called him Ramon. With one exception, the Movie Doubles 2-pack. Movie Doubles was an interesting set of 2-packs released in around 2008 and 2009, where they put two of the same character in a 2-pack. You would get a 2-pack that included two variants of McQueen, or in this case, two variants of Ramon. The specific 2-pack included Green Ramon and Yellow Ramon, and to have a distinction in the names instead of just saying Ramon and Ramon, they labeled them as Yellow Ramon and Green Ramon. This marks the only time I could find that Green Ramon's diecast has ever been called Green Ramon. Every other one of his single releases has just called him Ramon. The same isn't actually true for Yellow Ramon, though. He's had some times in the past where he has been referred to as Yellow Ramon, but that's a story for another time.
The next error I will be talking about is Paul Conrad's hauler, the racer for Bumper Safe in Cars 3, is actually named as Poncho Wipeout's hauler. This is clearly wrong, as we can see all the next-gen haulers do have the exact same model, just like Gail Buford, Jackson Storm's hauler, Cruz Ramirez's hauler, and even Paul Conrad's hauler. It's another mix-up. They get their names wrong all the time, Poncho Wipeout's hauler or Paul Conrad's hauler, but it's not that hard to notice, because Poncho Wipeout and Paul Conrad, even though they're the same sponsor racer, they do have completely different paint jobs, with Paul Conrad implementing more white in him. And that is clearly the exact same paint job that is on his hauler, which does now have an insane name. I don't even know where they come up with this. Logware Smith.
After 5 years of waiting, Flipped Over has gotten a re-release in 2022. But he's not just gotten a re-release, he's also gotten an update with a darker metallic paint color scheme that I guess does match his movie counterpart a little bit more. But there's something that bothers me with this Flipped Over re-release. It's his expression. This is going to be super nitpicky, But Mattel went out of their way to give Flip a new expression for this release, but he's looking off to the side, which now makes Flipped Over the only next gen to be looking off to the side. Yeah, some NASCAR and XRS variants of characters are looking off to the side, but I'm saying as far as regular releases of normal paint jobs of next gens go, he is the only one looking to the side now. Every other next gen that has been released, including the original release of Flipped Over, is looking straight forward. So why is this re-release of Flip looking off to the side? I know it's a very strange thing to complain about, but it's a weird inconsistency. All the other next gens are looking straight forward. Why is this new Flip looking off to the side? I'm lucky enough to own the original Flipped Over, and I'll probably pick up this new one. Heck, by the time this video comes out, maybe I already have him. I honestly highly doubt it, though. My stores have been awful lately. They've been getting better, though. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. I'm lucky enough to have the original Flipped Over, and yeah, I'll probably pick up this new one, but still, I think it's a very odd choice to have him looking off to the side. The only reason why I can think of is because his Tamaka diecast is, but Mattel never really bases their stuff off of what Tamaka's doing.
The 2007 six-pack of Cruise Night is actually very incorrect. As we can see, the 6 cars in it are Ramon, Sally, Cruising McQueen, Mater, Sheriff, and Doc Hudson. In a previous episode, Ty did mention it's actually the wrong color of Ramon being a purple variant, but there is actually another error in this pack that you may not know. So, since it is a 6-pack, there has to be 6 cars. But why is there Doc Hudson in this one? Doc Hudson did not appear in the cruising scene. He was kind of off to the side, I guess, and as we know later down in Cars 1, after the cruising scene, he does call in all the paparazzi to come and pick up McQueen because he's tired of him being there.
To end this episode, let's discuss the new Speedway of the South 11-pack. Yeah, it probably should have been called Motor Speedway of the South, but I'll let it slide. And I know I'm going to get a ton of comments about this if I don't address it. Yes, that is an image of Cars 3 McQueen on the box, but Cars 3 McQueen has appeared on the box of all the multi-packs this year, regardless of what movie they're based off of. So, not really an error, it's just a design choice by Mattel. Anyway, what I do want to bring up with this pack is the 2 race fans that were included in it. Brad Windmeiler and Darla Vanderson, neither of which appeared at the Motor Speedway of the South in the first Cars movie. I'm sure this is something they've done a ton of times before. In fact, I know it is something they've done a ton of times before. This is classic Mattel. They always mix up who was at the LA Speedway and who was at the Motor Speedway of the South. Brad and Darla were not at the Motor Speedway of the South. In fact, their diecasts were originally released in the LA Speedway series. But hey, at the end of the day, they're just more race fans, so it doesn't really matter. You know, it doesn't really matter whether they appeared at the specific race or not, at least not in the eyes of Mattel, and not really in my eyes either. They're just race fans. It's fine to throw them in, even though they technically weren't at this speedway. And there you have it, guys. Another episode of Errors and Inconsistencies has come and gone. Thank you so much to Crazy Cards Canada for joining me in this episode. A link to his channel will be in the description. Make sure to check out his channel. He does some great stuff over there. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.
Wow.
Wow!